Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters. Green morning, green afternoon, and green evening. It's such a pleasure to have two of the distinguished guests today with us. Just 2 days prior to India's 75th Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Saturday, 13th of August 2022, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. We extend a very hearty welcome all the way from the soil of Canada, Shri Surya Vijay Shastri Kotamarthi ji, the CEO Kotamarthi Group Canada, and Shri Vikas Malhotra, tourism expert and analyst from Canada. Two of the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Canada, whatever you wish to know, whatever you want to, and you always get fascinated when Canada word comes. So let's take on the journey today to Canada, and let's move on without spending much of finances from our side. It's a beautiful Canada. We are going to link you with Mr. Kotamarthi and Mr. Malhotra. This is a beautiful country. And right over here, we are showing you the colorful map. So hearty welcome to Canada. Wow. Vikas Malhotra is going to give me a free trip, and Mr. Kotamarthi is going to give me the pocket finance when I visit Canada and I travel to different places, maybe for cinematic tourism, maybe for film tourism, maybe for film-induced tourism, or maybe to visit some other places, whatever we can. Ladies and gentlemen, this special one-week program, which we have started on 8th of August till 15th of August, 7 days, it is dedicated to Indian teachers, Indian educators, Indian counselors, Indian technocrats, because you all have done a wonderful work. You're the great warriors. You are not less than anybody else. During the pandemic, whatever came in your hand, whether mobile phone or radio or television or theater, anywhere, during the pandemic, you reached out the children the best possible way, because more than 90% children world over, they were away from schools, colleges, and institutions. This series we have started under the dynamic, dedicated patronage of Padma Bhushan Professor Jagdish N. Sheth from United States, who is a fatherly figure. And if you see the first book of Philip Kotler on the management, the MBA, when it became popular, at a very young age, he had gone over there. What a long journey, what a contribution to the nation. So under his dedicated leadership, we are taking this one-week program. On 8th of August, when we started the journey along with him, we had Professor S.S. Patnaik ji, Madam Monica Behel, Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan, and that was meeting the global education and skill leaders. How teachers got to prepare themselves if they want to go abroad, if they want to teach in different countries, how do they prepare themselves? Thereafter, on 9th, we met Dr. Preeti Sharoff Mehta from Chicago, and she talked about internationalization of Indian education, educators without borders for the global services and citizenship. Thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, the technocrat, Indian teachers and global students, and entrepreneurs' perspective, Dr. K. Ganesh, what a wonderful presentation he gave, right from the heart and the spirit and the vision, what he talked about. It was amazing. Thereafter, we moved to Dr. B. N. Setna, the first president of ever any university in United States. He came on from Georgia and from the United States, and he discussed with all of us what could be done to address the teacher shortage world over, the potential role of Indian teachers as a force in the world, how they can get into those shoes. Welcome from International Chamber for Service Industry. We are a link between India and over 32 million Indian diaspora abroad. And of course, it is for the market research, policy advocacy, innovative strategies, consultancy, and of course, training non-resident Indians, corporate and the government interface. During pandemic, as I mentioned, great challenges, and we have organized more than 1,600 webinars during the pandemic times. So great gratitude and thanks to all the people who contributed, including Mr. Kotamarthi and Mr. Malhotra. Both have been very kind during the pandemic they had come. We are also very happy to share with all of you, we brought India's first finishing school for the services sector way back in 1994, where children, the youth, as well as the teachers, the educators. But during the pandemic and the post-pandemic, everything has gone digital. We have moved out of the classrooms. We have gone to the hybrid model where there's a mix of brick and mortars as well as the digital. So what we need post-pandemic: mental wellness, physical wellness, professional wellness, social wellness, and economic wellness. Everybody should try and get and grab a good job wherever you can. Our chamber is working in the direction why education should not be relevant to our day-to-day life. Right from the time you get up in the morning until you go to sleep, whatever you do during the entire day, everything should be relevant, and it should be a case study. It should be activity based, and everything should be taken. And that's what is our inspirational lab. Over here, teachers, you're the gardeners. Teach everything and let children learn everything with nature. Water management, waste to resource management, climate change, carbon neutral, understanding cultural diversity and respecting everybody, immersive learning experiences. This all is from the inspirational lab. There's a G20. You always talk about that summit. Ours is E20. And today, after a great marathon, in the morning when I was doing my yoga, I got the new term for ICSI, and I'm going to use that. Like you say EdTech platforms, you say Adu set, we are going to say Adu wellness, education wellness. Because if you have got wellness, you can think positive, talk positive, walk positive, believe positive. Honorable Prime Minister of India, great regards and gratitude and thanks to him. He gave the new education policy 2020 on 29th of July. Union budget, which came on the 1st of February, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ma'am, the Honorable Finance Minister of India, she gave the big push to the digital and to the education. Can you believe 200 TV channels, high quality e-contents, virtual labs, wellness strategies, 23 tally centers to be set up from Bangalore, and on the top of everything, digital university, hub and the spoke model, which is taking India far ahead. We are going to celebrate 75 years India's independence just after 2 days on 15th. Imagine how India would be when we would be celebrating 100 years of our independence, education 2047. The roadmap we are drawing for that, ICSI look forwards to the global confluence. And that's why all these deliberations, all these collaborations and these confluences are taking place. We have been discussing earlier, the world population is aging. India got to do the hand-holding world over with the skilled educators and teachers. Let's focus on our human resources exports. As a special gesture, on 15th of August, we will be announcing in a very big way, we are going to offer on the WhatsApp free program for the B.Ed final year. That means those have just completed the B.Ed or those are in the final semester of the B.Ed from the northeast part of India. These 8 states deserve to be the integral part for the national integration. They missed quite a bit of boat for quite some time. So as a special gesture, ICSI would be organizing a special program on mobile phone, on WhatsApp, 22nd to 31st of August 2022 for the entire Northeast B.Ed students, whosoever is keen. Strategy is services exports, human services exports. So ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome, hearty welcome today. And we have got both the distinguished guests. So join me in extending a very warm welcome to Shri Surya Vijay Shastri Kotamarti ji from the finance background and Mr. Vikas Malhotra from the tourism, hospitality and aviation background. Hearty welcome to both the dignitaries all the way from Canada. Namaskar, and wishing you a early happy morning, because you can show me your cup of coffee, But Kotamarti ji, you always carry your flask, big flask, and Vikas Malhotra ji carry his big mug all the time. Yes, that's lovely. So it's such a pleasure. Let's roll in and let's move on. People are waiting anxiously to know what exactly Canada has got to offer as far as Indian teachers, educators, counselors, coach, trainers, motivators, whosoever is there. If they have to go to Canada, what is there in the kitty? Let's start with Vijay Surya Kotamarthi ji, and thereafter I'll go to Vikas Malhotra. I'll give the respect to the biological age profile and let Vijay Surya Kotamarthi ji take on the floor. Please go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as Dr. Sharma says, for everyone across the world who's watching this program. And regarding the coffee, Dr. Sharma ji, we have that flask or that long thing because we just have it hot all through the day. So rather than having a small cup and again having another cup, we carry with us. And that's the small education about the coffee cups that we are talking about. And you have gotten a very, very interesting subject, preparing global teachers. Now, everything teachers is nothing but knowledge. And the purpose of knowledge is to share. And that helps everyone to understand what is available. So whatever I know for the past 20 plus years that I've been in Canada, I will certainly share first, starting with the profession in which I am. I am a professional chartered accountant as per India, and they are called certified public accountants, or certified professional accountants in Canada. So I'm a chartered professional accountant practicing for the past 20 plus years in Canada as a CPA. So this profession, starting with the profession for people who who have pursued their education and are working as either an accounts officer or a finance controller or practicing as a chartered accountant or or practicing as a chartered secretary, company secretary in India, or cost accountant. These are the various designations and the courses in which people pursue the education, and after that they have their careers in that specific. So being that from that profession, I will first speak about how and what are the prospects here in Canada, not only for the profession of accountancy, but for any profession to come. Whoever is coming to Canada, they normally will have to upgrade their skills in order to understand what are the local laws and everything. And that's what I did. I'm a chartered accountant from India. I'm a CPA from Kenya. But when I came to Canada at the age of 39, I did my CPA, US CPA and Canadian CPA. So I got those two designations just to understand, and that gives a good amount of confidence to people that yes, it's not just they are professionals from abroad, but they also have the professional designation from Canada. And it is not necessary that you have to have the professional designation. I'm just saying some sort of education. You can still go to a college and do some course which is related to the taxation or the company law, depending on which area you want to pursue. But simultaneously, while you are settling in Canada, you should pursue something which is related to the subject that you want to settle here in Canada. So for that, for chartered accountants who are from India, just 2 years back, after a long deliberation from our local chapter of the Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants here in Canada, there was a treaty signed between Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Chartered Professional Accountants of Canada that any designated CA from India, if they appear for the final exam, they just have to write one exam, and they will be, if they qualify, they can call themselves chartered professional accountant. And this is something which will certainly help them, because while you are pursuing the job, while you are settling in Canada, if you have this additional designation, because I know as a chartered accountant from India how difficult it is to pass the CA course. And having gone through that, and with the experience that you all have, I'm sure whoever wants to pursue the designation with the type of education and the designation that you have from India, you'll easily, or at least with little more effort, should be able to pass that course. So similarly, if you are into other professions, it's not necessary that if you practice the or you were as a company secretary or a cost accountant, or you were working as an accounts officer, it is not necessary for you that you should only get the designation, but you can certainly do certain courses the way I was saying. So the preparation for people who come from the finance and the accountancy background, they should settle in these areas. And there is also one additional very uh, a profession which is pursued by many here called financial advisors. And there are some courses which are organized, and if you pass those courses, you can pursue the career as a financial advisor. So you can tell people where they should invest their money, or there is a provision for investing in RRSPs, which gives you a particular type of deduction. So there are a number of things which the financial advisors help. So people who are from even from the finance background, even if they are chartered accountants or they are having any other designation, they can still think of becoming a financial advisor. And there is a professional course which they can pursue, and CFA is the course for that. If they want to get a designation, they can do that, but they can still settle as financial advisors by passing those exams and utilizing their career in the past and their experience in the past that they have from India, and settle. So this is about the finance people who come from India. And I will just talk about one more industry before I hand it over back to you, Dr. Sharma, so that Mr. Vikas also can tell about the travel industry. But I have many more, which when you bring me back in, I will speak about them. But the next one is again, I'm speaking this with my personal experience, and this area is the media area. There are many people who work for the media in India. And if you are working in either in Doordarshan, and nowadays there are so many private channels. If you are working either in the radio industry or in the television industry, anywhere, any part of media, including the people who are in the advertising and media industry, those who are with big advertising companies in India and pursuing their career currently as in the media, they can think of coming here. And especially for those who have some experience in the media, the television media or the radio media, I will tell with my experience. I'm by profession, all of you now must have known that I'm a chartered accountant by profession. But my wife, who is also MA from India and who works for like a big international company here, she was trained as a television news reader by Doordarshan Hyderabad. Because before we went off to Kenya, she was about to go on air, but we had to travel to Kenya, where I lived for 10 years, and thereafter from there I came to Canada. So because she had that passion and she had that talent, we started a radio program called Telugu Bharati, which is in Telugu, my mother tongue, and I come from the state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana because my roots are in Andhra Pradesh, and I lived in Telangana for more than 15, 20 years before I migrated to Canada. So we started the radio program, and we did it for 10 years. And thereafter, we also had a television channel, which we did on Rajasthan, and we were actually doing this. And why I'm just telling out of my experience is it is not just this particular language or anything, but it is just to share with you the experience. So those who are in the media industry and who want to pursue their career by either, there are many South Asian, especially our Indian channels, which are in Hindi, which are in Gujarati, which are in Marathi, which are in Malayalam, Tamil. In fact, there is one radio station exclusively, it's a Tamil radio station in which we had our part of the programming which we did. So you can, and you can also get into the mainstream media. It is not that you have to only go into your specific languages that you have been in. You can go to the mainstream media also, provided of course you master your English and you are able to speak. Here this is a multicultural country, and there is no particular way or style of speaking English. As long as you can communicate well and people are able to understand what you're saying, you will be able to go on even the local channels. So there is a huge potential for the media industry. Even in the print media, if there are people, there are so many of my own clients and my friends have started local newspapers in English, in Kannada, in Tamil, in Hindi, in Punjabi. Punjabi, there are so many magazines. So even in the print media, there is huge scope for journalists and for people who are in the print media. So from a media perspective also, Canada has a lot to offer, and India has a lot of them who already have this experience. It's not only that they will have to gain the local experience and be open-minded, that they need to do something in order to show someone to get into that career, that I have a local diploma or something, just as I was mentioning for the finance people. Similarly, in this, education is always useful and knowledge is power. So these are the two areas which I have spoken. I will give it back to you, Dr. Sharma, and then after Mr. Vikas also speaks, if you want, and if the people have any questions, I will be able to answer, and then we'll cover the other areas.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kotamarti. Wonderful insight. Chartered accountants, company secretary, taxation, financial advisors, CFA, and thereafter you had gone to media entertainment industry also, the radio, the television, the theater, the music and all that, Telugu Bharati, and thereafter something very interesting you made a mention, multicultural country. Wow, that's great, which is to be understood. So one comment which has come, rather one endorsement which has come, I would like to read it. It's very interesting on the YouTube. J. Subbalakshmi Madam has written, one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Wow, what a powerful statement. J. Subbalakshmi ma'am, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. I would encourage and I would request all other participants also, do share your views, because this platform is basically where we are trying to interact with each other and sharing the knowledge with each other and experiences of each other. Like Mr. Kotamarti made a mention, he was in Kenya and then he moved to Canada. Mr. Malhotra was in Dubai and then he moved to Canada. Let's take on your experience also. Travel and tourism, hospitality, airlines, holiday and leisure tourism, what all you would like to take on. Mr. Vikas Malhotra from Canada, along with Mr. Kotamarti. Mr. Malhotra.
Namaskar, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever time zone in the world you are. On this special occasion, when we are going to, or we are already to celebrate the 75th independence, the D-Day, when I was in school, I used to wait for this day because I used to get a holiday always. But slowly, steadily, I learned the importance. So being a part of this, I'm really, really honored, and thank you to the ICSI to bring me over here on this platform. I'm going to make this very simple, very easy for a layman to understand what I feel. I'm not going to use any technical words and all. And of course, we can go into more interaction and questions if anybody has at the end. I would like to thank Shri Vijayji to give all the lights on the finance sector, which I was absolutely not even well versed with that. That's one area I'm kind of little skeptical always, because money talks a lot in this world. What I would like to say that a teacher does not necessarily have to be a human being teaching in a college, university, or a school. Teacher can be you, can be me, can be anybody around us. Somebody who can teach, to educate, to make other human being, to increase the level of the awareness is somebody who can teach in whatever sphere of life it is. Another thing is that a teacher are the biggest mediums. They are like a boat who will help a student or somebody wants to learn to cross the sea or the ocean. They are actually the mediators. They are the ones who will not only to make awareness, they are the one who will inspire. Canada, specifically, if you're talking on this platform, has lots and lots of things to offer. It's like an ocean, and you, me, and everybody over here is just one drop out of that. But yes, it is a land which gives you a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities of life, that you can actually come here and explore your own life. And yes, there are certain ways that you have to do those. So teachers has a big role to play, whether they are in Canada, they're in India, they're in US, anywhere in the world. They are the ones who will enhance the skills, and that is definitely required. Enhancing the skills according to the Canadian level of the levels of the studies, I would say here, definitely needs to be at par with the North American standards as well. I'm not going to say that North American standards are the best. I find that education in India is definitely one of the very strongest, very, very, very good as well. And that's where I did my schooling from. So that is definitely one point that I would like to say. The most important thing is a teacher does not have to read a book, have to read the lines, paragraph, essay. A teacher is the one who's also has a major role to motivate, to inspire. That why would you go to another part of the world? What is it that if you have a potential of 10 out of 10, why are you using 4 out of 10? So there is a world waiting for you over there on the other side. And then there are lots of human beings who actually acquire the knowledge, expertise, and they go back to India to upgrade their own town, to do something for their own country. I'm not too sure if all of you have watched a film called Swades, which came many years ago. And basically, it's one of my favorite films that is talking on the same lines. So there is a lot of things which moves around the word teacher. Another thing another word which is actually going to be, sorry about that. Another word which is actually going to be associated is the youth. The youth is a very, very important and integral part of all the community worldwide, whether it's in India or it's in North America. A youth is the one who actually takes the risks. The youth is the one who has full of energy to go to the other part of the world to explore themselves. So youth actually has a huge role to play. And teachers are the guiding counselors to actually make that happen. Vijay sir also mentioned something about the media. So what I feel as a layman, as a media, is whether it's in the Canadian side or it's in the Indian side, but what air means to life is the same as entertainment means to a human life. So I still have to find one single human being who does not like to listen to songs, who does not like to have a smile, who does not like to be entertained in whatever way that he or she is. So there is a huge potential on that segment as well. And of course, now we are living in the digital world. People are inspired to view the the slides, the photos, videos of places all over the world. And yes, there is one segment which comes along with that, is that we got to be physically fit to visit to one place. But this is the age of the letter E. E means electronic. Everything is available in front of you on a screen. There is one human being that I know in Nova Scotia. She's actually totally handicapped and she cannot walk. She's on a wheelchair, and we, I mean, like, so she always wants to go to one place, to second place or third place. She actually wants to explore the world. So she gave me a statement: because it does not matter if I can walk or not. I can just open YouTube and I can watch the videos of any place in the world at my own fingertips. So basically, so tourism has a big scope on this. Even in the world of the letter E, it still has a lot of count on it. And teachers, again, coming back to the same string, they are the mediums. They are the ones who will make those awareness to the youth, to the world. And again, they are not only confined those who are actually, teaching in a university or school. It can be anybody, one of us as well. These are basically the broad points that I would like to bring over there, and definitely will give the podium back to you, sir.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll get back to you once again with the specific openings in travel and tourism, hospitality, and airlines. Sure. Let me get back to Mr. Kotamarti. Now, there's a beautiful book written by Professor Jagdish and Sheth, and where he talks about African continent. And yesterday we had another gentleman, his book is lying here only with me, and that is The Digital Leapfrog by Professor Vijay Mahajan from Texas. And he talked about Kenya, the case study, and he has carried out some comparative analysis, something middle class in India, something middle class in Kenya, Nairobi, a couple of other places. Complete year he spent over there. Now, Professor Jagdish and Sheth conveys that 19th century belonged to Europe, 20th century belonged to America, 21st century belongs to Asia up to 2050. Whatever progress you want to do up to 2050, because thereafter it will be African continent where maximum population growth, development, and everything will come. So your rich experience of Kenya, combining over here, maybe in the financial sector, some of my teachers, some of my educators who would love to go to Africa, because wherever you can get an opportunity, we should not be restricting ourselves to one particular continent or place or country. Rather, we should be open, because Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, the whole world we have to take care of. So share some experiences of yours with the African continent also, and then vis-a-vis we come to Canada. Over to you, sure. Mr. Kotamarti.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Yes, I would like to speak about Kenya. Actually, Kenya has lots of prospects. In fact, they have many things, but unfortunately, in fact, the best thing about Kenya is that everyone is educated at least up to grade 8, and if not, up to grade 12. So you can find every Kenyan reading a newspaper, and their knowledge is very good. So they are very, very educated as far as I'm concerned, because education is first thing to know what it is. You can learn by reading or listening to something, and that enhances your knowledge. So for teachers themselves, so teachers who are in India, and who would like to, who don't mind. And let me say that Africa, the word people think is a country where if we go, I don't know, it might be hot. And Kenya actually is on the equator. It divides the northern and southern hemisphere, and the equator passes through Kenya. And the type of people that they are that are there, they actually definitely would like to learn. And for teachers who are in India, in fact, if you are coming to Canada, probably when you come, you may have to go through a number of things. You may have to go to certain schools and or certain places where you have to upgrade your this thing while you are working as a supply teacher. Whereas in Kenya, it is totally different. If you are a teacher in India, and like because you were saying, teacher need not necessarily mean only in schools. We can share our knowledge, and knowledge is what is shared. So whoever is sharing the knowledge, it doesn't mean that I'm trying to teach to somebody. I'm only sharing my knowledge. Actually, knowledge grows with sharing. And especially I'm using the word teachers because we are talking about educators and the youth. So those who are pursuing their career right now in India as teachers in schools, colleges, universities, wherever they are, it will be actually of great help to Africa. I'm speaking from a Kenyan perspective because I've seen the requirement for teachers who can go to these African countries. Especially Kenya is among the three countries that are there in East Africa. Their adaptability and everything is good. I can speak because I stayed there, and there is huge scope for teachers to go there in any subject. And teachers need not necessarily be only in math, especially math. Math, there is a huge requirement everywhere in the world, including Africa. So if you are a professor or a teacher in mathematics, or if you are teaching calculus, you can definitely, and your benefits and all that you get will certainly be more than what you are earning in India. And I would like to say that, being an Indian by birth, I will, all these things that I'm talking about, that you can go here and you can go there, is not just for going and settling there. We always can come back to, and should come back to, our own country to after, if for economic reasons or for some reasons we are going to these countries, after we have had a foreign experience, and after we have accumulated a reasonable amount of wealth. I don't want, in life there is no end to the definition of wealth. But if you at least have earned something which you feel that now you can go back, please, take, even whether you can, like, because he was saying, you can come to Canada, but you can go back to your village or your city or wherever you are from in India, and give back to the country, because that should be how it is everywhere in the world right now. The world needs people who are young and who are at least having some education better than what others have. So India is one country which is the biggest amount of youth, right, in terms of percentage. And certainly all that youth, and youth can be anywhere between 25 to 50. There is not necessarily, or even from 18 to 50. So there is, youth is only physical youthness is this age period that I have given. Otherwise, it's only that your immigration process becomes difficult as you grow older. So there is terrific scope even in Kenya, especially in the healthcare, in education, in even in what Vikas ji is saying, tourism is one of the world's best safaris is in Kenya, called Masai Mara, and people go there from all across the world. And I think because he should consider that as one of his, areas where he can promote people going from North America, especially from Canada, because that they will have very good memories of that. So from a Kenyan perspective, there are many, every area that you work on, it's not necessary if you're only to be a teacher or you have to be in media. They definitely need, Africa needs, and if you are saying, like you said, after 2050, it is going to be the next place where the world growth will be. So go now, and if you are a youth right now and you go there, you by the time 2050 comes, it's not very far, it's just 28 years from now. So within within the next quarter century, if you have already gone there and settled, you would be in the world's most prosperous continent. So from a perspective of career can be made anywhere. And it is only that you should have in your mind that I am coming to contribute to this country and also make a living for myself and a career for myself. So it is a two-way thing. You are helping the nation where you go, and you are also helping yourself. And the best helping yourself is when you get back to your country. Of course, circumstances may or may not permit for you to go back due to some reasons, but all those who can, I would say that get back to your own country. That is our great country, India. And we are celebrating our 75th Independence Day. And by the time the 100 years come, Dr. Sharma has shown the slide for 2047. And I'm sure 2047 is still before 2050. And India would have been where it has to, even not, it is already there, and it will be much more than what it is. So back to you, Sharmaji. That is about the African continent.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Linking up Kenya, Canada, India. And that is something very nice, which you have made a mention. It is good that go get some experience, earn some chips, and get back to your area, wherever you belong to, and serve your own community, humanity, and everything. So linking up Kenya and Canada. If we can work out and if we can mix both, that would be something very meaningful, where the Dubai and Canada, they can be linked. Just over to you, Mr. Vikas Malhotra.
Thank you once again. I wanted to say one more thing, which really brings up a point for all of us. It is easier said than done. It's a very, very famous saying. People will say that, you know what, I'm going to another place in the world, not with the intentions to come back to India. There's very less human beings who would say that. 99.99% people come, I'll study there, I'll do my university, I will settle down there abroad. I would like to say one thing over here, and let's be very practical about it. It's very difficult for a human being to come back because they've already got used to a particular system. They've already got used to the government facilities. They've already got used to the community around them. And then after 10 years or 12, whatever the X amount of years is, it's not very practical for a person to go back and uproot. Yes, if somebody can do it, excellent. But it does not mean we cannot contribute to India. That does not define at all. We can sitting in any part of the world, whether it's Dubai or Nairobi or Madagascar or USA, we can still contribute something to India. And I'm not saying that something should be on the scale of, build a school or build a hospital. I'm not even saying that level. I'm saying each one teach one. Let us take the initiative. Let us become a teacher for the youth of India, and let us educate one human being. One will teach one. There is just because of the privacy issues, I cannot name the society that I'm linked with. In Canada, there is a sponsorship program which happens all over the world. And one of them is India. So what happens is that the girl students in the villages in India, they said, you choose any one. Why I'm saying girl is because lots of families, even till date, don't want to send their small little girls to schools because it's an expense. and they still feel, you know what, let me send my son to school. I can afford only one child to school, so I'll send my son instead of the girl. But that's why the focus is on girl, but it can be a son as well. So just sponsor one student per year so that they go to school. So there is a program that I actually recently joined, and if you convert that Indian rupees into Canadian dollars, that much money what you will spend for fees, we will spend much more eating food in a restaurant. It is not a big thing. It is a small thing. So people feel, oh, I'm settled over here. Why should I go back to India? Why should I uproot myself? After all, we all are human beings, and human beings tend to be on the selfish side. And we all are. Let's just admit the facts. So they say, I want to lead a good life. That is why I made efforts. That is why I invested my time and energy and I came here. Now, I don't have intentions to go back, but that should not stop people to contribute something to India. Just think about it. If we have 100% literacy rate in India, we will become world number one. That every Indian you pick has studied in a school. But half of the times people don't want to send their kids to school because they can't afford it, because the fees are very high. And I feel that we should educate, we should become teachers to educate others around us. And I'm not even saying one adult to one child, I'm saying one household to one child. So that is the smallest thing. You go to Tim Hortons, you do a drive-through, the amount of money you spend on Tim Hortons in 1 year, it would sponsor at least 4 or 5 kids. I'm talking about the average spending over here. Because there's coffee, muffin, I'm just going to spend $5 or $6. But think about that $5 or $6 is 2 months fees of that school. That's it. So we ourselves should start first, then we should come to inspire to the others around us, that we should take one step first, and always it starts from home. So that is what my take is, that this is more on the practical side. Everybody cannot be Shah Rukh Khan in Swades, that he leaves NASA's manager's job and one of the best in the world, awarded the citizenship, and want to forfeit that and then go back to India. That takes a lot of guts within you to do that. But yes, again, if somebody can do it, then there's nothing better than that. One more thing I would like to do is tourism. The word tourism brings a smile to everybody's face. We're not talking about medical equipment. I mean, excuse me, all the doctors on the panel or something, I don't mean anything wrong. We're not speaking about injections. We're not speaking about sickness. We're not speaking about COVID-19 situation, because everybody gets scared. Oh my God, I'm feeling sick, I'm not well. So that does not bring a smile. If you say, would you like to go to Washington, DC and be on a similar ride on an aerospace museum, what's going to happen? You will smile. Sure, let's go. So this is a medicine which we all can spread to the world. And of course, finance plays a very big part. Shri Vijay sir has a very big role over here as well, because nothing comes free. We got to work, we got to earn, we got to manage our money, as the CPA and the CAs will always talk about, and then invest on to the betterment of ourselves and contribute something out of it to the portion to India as well. So this is basically my take on this as well, that we got to be practical. We got to think what actually happens in the world. And this platform is not just to talk, it is to inspire all those who are attending right now, that look, next time you go to Starbucks, think about what you're doing, what you could have done on a larger scale. So, and one more thing I would like to say, it is never too late. It is never too late. We can start this even at the age of 75, 70, but let's start is my main thing, that we should know, I've already lived my whole life. What am I going to do to give one fees to one student? No, you can still do it. So this is basically my take also, that let's not close our doors of our mind, and we should take a step forward, and it's a ripple effect. It's going to inspire others as well. So basically that's what I wanted to say, sir. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Malhotra. Now over here, ladies and gentlemen, I do not know how he got the 75 years and one can start over there. Something very interesting. Captain Nair, he built the first Leela hotel at the age of 75. And how many hotels have come up thereafter? Thereafter, his son Vivek took care of. But the first hotel by that soldier was built at the age of 75. Before that, he was, working with his father-in-law, his wife, other relatives in Kerala, and they were more on to handlooms and weaving and other kind of things. But 75-year age, I don't know how, Vikasji, you touched that. So I am reminded of my elder soldier, that is Captain Nair, at the age of 75, building up a 5-star hotel that's called the Leela Group of Hotels chain. That is something interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, both the dignitaries have given wonderful. I'm just laughing over here. After Habung Tayo, there is a flood of questions and there's a shower of questions, but they are more related to immigration, which is not the task. But I'm just, for the benefit of everybody, can we apply job online from India? Is the visa process difficult to get through? And then Nancy is writing how to apply for internship in Canada from India. I'm a final year BCom, final year student. Anand Mukherjee, do the teachers need to go through another compulsory orientation course to work as a teacher in Canada? I've just completed my B.Ed. And then, of course, there are many other questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, please.
Let me answer some of those,
Okay, curiosities.
people have taken the enthusiasm of
Yes,
asking the question. And
yes.
certainly, to the extent that I know, because having lived here and worked with many of the immigration consultants, how this thing works, I can certainly tell that, the process for migrating to Canada is, applying process is simple, but the processing time and the way it is processed takes time. So there are certain qualifications and there are certain points that you will qualify you in order to apply. But thereafter, of course, it depends on, there is what is called an express entry also, through which you can come. But as I have said, if somebody is saying, is there a course for when I come here as a teacher? You can certainly work in a school. I use the word supply teacher. What it means is that when a teacher on roll doesn't attend on that day, if your name is on the list, they normally call you and you should be prepared to go and teach for that day. So, but while you are doing that, you can still pursue your there are certain courses you'll have to do in order to become a qualified teacher here. It's, if you are lucky enough, you may be absorbed by the supply teacher. When you give only, you get. So those people who are ready to do that, they get into a school. So the school starts observing you and seeing how you are teaching and your commitment to take up. So these are the personal traits which will help you coming. But of course, I always say that it's always better for you to get some sort of education. It's not a very in-depth courses that you have to do, but at least something local which you can show. So this is what I would like to, for all the questions that have come. So there is a scope, and everyone, even the young people who have asked this question, let them go to just type Canadian immigration, and there is it will give you an application. It will tell you whether you are qualified or not. Just try and see, first of all, whether you are qualified or not. Thereafter, learn more about it. And Dr. Sharma ji, you, ICSI, and you have organized this forum for people. So if they come when the appropriate time and questions are there, and we are able to tell, we'll share with everyone the knowledge and the experience that we have here in Canada.
Great. I belong to, yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yes. Sorry interrupting you. So absolutely right, sir. Only thing I would like to address the question about somebody who's done the B.Ed. that when you come over here, I belong to, not that I, but my kids are a Peel board over here. It's PEEL board. So one of my associates wanted to apply for a job, and they actually have to undergo an examination, even if you have to do a supply teacher. So you're given a module to study, you qualify through that test, and then once when you qualify, then your name comes as a supply first. You never straight away go into becoming the head of the department or something, but you always, normally I'll say, you'll start with supply and then you move on as per the hierarchy, as per the demand is. And Toronto District School Board is also on the same lines as well. But whether it is whatever stream is, you most 9 out of 10 times you still have to upgrade your skills when you come here to do a course of specialization in that stream what you're aiming to be.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. There are a lot of new terms which have come now world over, ladies and gentlemen. Post-pandemic, there is a new term which has been used now called teacher coach. And, the neuro coach, teacher coach, neuro coach, wellness coach. And there are new terms which are coming. And when you talk about coach, I was just going literally in the Oxford Dictionary and trying to see the teacher and what exactly, like Vikas was mentioning, increases the level of the awareness, enhances the skills and all. But when you talk about a coach, giving every individual a particular attention, it's like a mentorship and something you enhance in every way, like you adapt and adopt something and take it forward. That is something very interesting. Those of us, those are interested. There are more than 100 new terms have come post-pandemic period. World over, the population is aging. India should be proud of it. We have done extremely well as far as population is concerned, as far as young population is concerned. And next year, we are going to surpass China also. And we would be the most populated country world over. So before Africa comes on the way in 2050, 2047 also, the roadmap which is to be done for 100 years of India's independence. Let's roll in, and while giving our best wishes and thanks and gratitudes to both Shri Vijay Surya Kotamarti ji and Mr. Vikas Malhotra, thank you very much for joining us from Canada today and giving us the insight. It was wonderful to know so much from your cerebrum and from your treasure. We enriched each one of us so much. And particularly, I also picked up a lot of new threads. Thank you very much for joining us. So ladies and gentlemen, before we close the session today, I just wish to share with all of you, this was the slide which I had shown you, and where I just wish to share with all of you that tomorrow we are going to have Dr. Ashok Saxena, and he will be coming from the United States. And tomorrow we will have a program with him, and that is going to be preparing teachers for pedagogical challenges for the STEM education. And then, of course, NRIs for Indian Education and Skills, the grand finale will come. And let's think about it. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together. Let's prepare Indian educators for the global journey. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much, Kotamarti ji, and thank you very much, Mr. Malhotra. Look forward meeting everybody at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, when we have got Vidya Se Adhyatam Vidya Ki Aur with Woodbury University. Our president who will be joining us, Professor Satinder Dhiman from California. And then, of course, 8 p.m., we have got Professor Saxena. Do join us, be a part of the deliberations and celebrations. And day after tomorrow, we get into 15th of August, 75 years of India's independence. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and stay fit.